What you're about to hear is a podcast that I recorded with my good friend Andross of the Nintendo Pals podcast. It's actually an excerpt from the latest episode of one of my podcasts called the KOOPA Cast. I do a whole lot of podcasts. I don't know if you knew that or not. I've got links to the full episode of the audio version of the podcast in the video description if you want to check it out. If you like Nintendo, indie games, and all that, you'd probably like the KOOPA Cast. And so we thought it would be a fun idea to try to record a podcast within entirely, it's just like the title says, it's not clickbait, man, entirely within GameChat on the Nintendo Switch 2. So you're going to notice the audio quality sounds like it was recorded on a Nintendo Switch 2 because it was. There's also, the setup was a little scuffed, like I had to have Andross recording my audio while I recorded his audio because there's no way to like self-monitor your own audio on Switch 2, so we had to kind of like hold it together with duct tape, but we made it work. There are a couple moments in the video where like you'll hear Andross like, navigating around, and I think at one point or another he plays like a trailer underneath me a couple times. So it's a little bit scrappy. It's a little bit held together with duct tape, but we did it. And it was a fun experiment, and I hope you enjoy. Check out the full episode of the KOOPA Cast if you want to. But for now, enjoy this chat with Andross, all about Donkey Kong Bananza, the future of Nintendo in 2025. Just a really good, fun chat. Again, recorded entirely in Nintendo Switch 2 GameChat. So yeah, take a listen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a weird little experiment here on the KOOPA Cast. We're recording a podcast here entirely on GameChat on the Nintendo Switch 2. I literally am sitting here using the Nintendo Switch 2's built-in microphone. We're using all of the functions of GameChat. I'm hanging out with Andross from the Nintendo Pals. Welcome to the show, dude. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me on. This is my KOOPA Cast debut, I think.
That's right. Yeah, you haven't been on the KOOPA Cast yet. This seemed like we were hanging out on your show recently, and I threw this idea out, and I was like, this would be the perfect thing to do with Andross. Like, to do, like, this, like, experimental... You do so many, like, fun experiments on your channel with your content. I was like, this is the one to do with Andross.
Yeah, well, I mean... Day one, when you were playing Mario Kart and we were able to just like hop in during your stream and talk on GameChat, and all of us were blown away with how good it is. Like, yeah, our bar. Now, to be fair, this is not like, wow, we're experiencing 4K, and you can hear the audio quality on this. We're using our systems for the audio, by the way. This is not our high-end microphones. I did try and plug in my high-end microphone. It didn't like it.
Yeah.
But my bar for this was so low based off of the trailers. I thought GameChat is going to be a slideshow, and it's going to be bad, but it works so good. It works so good. Kind of great.
It works kind of great. Like, we're sitting here and, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about the Donkey Kong Bananza Direct and stuff. And obviously I want to give you a chance to talk about your content a little bit and stuff like that. But I'm kind of blown away by just this idea of like, yo, if you wanted to make a podcast and you had a Nintendo Switch 2, you could kind of make a podcast. Like, we're here. I'm recording a video version of this too that I'll put up on my YouTube channel. We're here. We're on camera. We're hanging out. We have like a speech to text thing. I've got the direct pulled up on the video. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, this is higher quality than when I started my first podcast with Nintendo. like straight up, I was using like laptop camera and like no visuals. This is so cool. It is really cool. And I didn't even think about like how you could just like pull up the news. Dude,
yeah.
You could do like an entire Nintendo show in here. It's great.
You can even adjust like the audio if you want. Like, I'm gonna have it muted for the purposes of the podcast and everything, but I could, if I wanted to, I could kind of have the direct playing quietly under us and stuff like that. Like, you really do have a lot of options here. Oh
man, and live reactions to like new directs and stuff. This is the place to do it. Yeah,
you could do it entirely on GameChat. We another thing I should note, we do both have blenders going off just off frame.
Just off frame.
Full volume, just like blenders loudly blending a bunch of like nails and screws right behind us.
I record, as you can see, I'm in my kitchen, which is like one big room, kitchen living room. So I could some point in this episode, I could run back there and grab the blender. It's right there. We're
Just
not far from the blender.
Roll that bad boy, dude. Yeah, man. Well, it's really cool to have you on. I'm excited to talk about. So I'm really excited about this DK Direct, and I'm excited to get into it. But before we do, Andross, I want to give you a sec to talk about yourself a little bit. Tell people what you do and the content you make. Tell us about yourself, man.
Hi, my name is Andross1. I'm 6'1". I like long walks on the beach. I'm just kidding.
Dating profile.
I am not on the market, so that's for sure. No, my name's Andross. I have been making Nintendo content since 2020, and have been a Nintendo gamer my entire life. Basically, since I could pick up a controller. Mario Kart, the very first one on the SNES, all the way to now with Mario Kart World. And
let's go.
Yeah, so I do a variety of content mediums. I have a podcast that I run with my best friend Micah called Nintendo Pals. Seth is a frequent guest over there. Started about the same time that Seth started his Nintendo podcasting journey.
That's right.
And then partway through that, I spun off and started doing my own thing with streaming and YouTube content. And I primarily do gaming challenges like Zelda speedrun challenges and different weird ways to play games. Pacifists runs, collect all the cooking dishes runs, playing games with my nose, playing games blindfolded. I mean, if you can think of a wrong way to play a game, I've probably done it.
Nice. That should be your tagline. That should be your little like about me on YouTube.
Yeah. Playing games wrong so you don't have to.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. And that's all primarily been Zelda, but I do other games as well. I've been branching out more recently, trying other stuff. But yeah, primarily my bread and butter is Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. And yeah, so you can imagine I've been absolutely pumped and excited for the Switch 2 launch and all of the cool Zelda stuff that we got with the Switch 2 launch.
Yeah,
so
man.
Yeah, that's me. I think that hits on everything that I do. Nintendo Pals and Andross1 on all platforms.
Nice.
Oh,
well,
I also
moonlight.
I also moonlight as Tingle over on TikTok.
That's true.
If you want to see a guy in spandex doing TikTok trends,
I mean,
that's
you
the
rock
place.
it, dude. You pull it off. Like there is no reality in which I could pull that off. So you
I don't know, Seth. I think we need to order you a Tingle suit. Join me.
We do not. We definitely do not. Well, yeah, like I said, I'll make sure to have everything Andross linked in the show notes. Yeah, we did. We started the whole like Nintendo thing around the same time, and it's cool that we've been able to continue making stuff together and continue being friends and hanging out, man. So I really value your friendship, and I value your perspective, and always happy to talk to you. We have a very prestigious occasion here today, as it turns out, too. A new Nintendo Direct happened this morning. Not a like full Nintendo Direct, but a single game focused Direct on Donkey Kong Bananza, which is coming out in a little less than a month at the time we are recording this. And it was kind of a crazy Direct, to be honest. Like, what were your thoughts?
So, Seth, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, Donkey Kong, for me, has never been, like, a pillar in the Nintendo space. I really enjoy Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, but, like, I mean, it's no Zelda, it's no Mario. And so this game I was excited for as a Nintendo fanboy, but I wasn't necessarily hyped. Like, not at the level. I'll be totally honest here. This is a safe space where I can be honest, and the people listening to this podcast will only minorly come at me. I was more excited for Mario Party Jamboree DLC coming next month.
That's a hot take, dude.
I am so stoked for that. But I'm excited, and I'm definitely picking up Donkey Kong. But this Direct has turned the tables, my friend. I am so pumped. This Direct made this game skyrocket to like, oh gosh, this isn't Tropical Freeze. This is Mario Odyssey 2. This is Mario Odyssey 2. And they kind of like insinuated that, but this Direct has beyond hyped me up to uncontrollable levels where I'm like, it can't be as good as it looks. Like, there's no way. And so, but it looks so good. It looks so good.
Yeah.
So my overall thoughts were this Direct was amazing. It was amazing. It completely turned me from being excited to just being over the moon hyped.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, dude. I definitely, my coming into it, like, I was excited. I played the game at the hands-on preview, and my takeaway from the hands-on preview was like, this was cool. It was probably the worst way to experience this game. Like, in a dark room, very loud, you only get 20 minutes, you know. I felt like I didn't really ever get like a handle on the controls and stuff in that time. So coming into this, I was like, I'm really excited, but I feel like I need something to like really get me there. Like, really kind of like make this like my most anticipated game of the year, you know? And this Direct did it. Like, this is, I think, and I've been thinking about this off and on today, I think it is the best like single-focused Nintendo Direct. Like, the ones focused on one game, I think this has got to be the best one they've ever done. Like, it hits all of the notes. I remember when the Mario Kart World Direct happened, the big takeaway from people was like, well, that didn't give us any new information. This was like all new information.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was. I guess my expectations were lower for what the Direct would have in it because of all of because we've done single game Directs before,
right?
And they can be pretty hype. I'd say this was on par with like the Splatoon Direct. Do you remember the Splatoon 3 like focus Direct? And I will say, this is one thing that I wanted to get out in this podcast. My cat is all over up here.
Shout out to Midna, wants to be on cam.
Midna the cat. So I will say that I got major Splatoon vibes from the overall world of Donkey Kong Bananza. The colors, the music, even like the character design. I was like, is the Splatoon team? Is this the same team? I don't actually know who's working on this game, but like, there feels like a lot of crossover here.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's been a lot of like, kind of people have been wondering like, who is it that's making this? And you know, I guess the safe bet would be to say, well, it's the Mario Odyssey team. Mario Odyssey came out in 2017. Right. So what has NPD Tokyo been working on this whole time? And maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. Who's to say? I will tell you that when I played it, my first reaction was, oh, this feels like Odyssey. Like, the engine feels, the way DK moves, even like the font, the way the text comes up. Like, if it is not made by the Odyssey team, it is at least, I think, built on the bones of the Odyssey engine. And, you know, there are a bunch of things we could speculate about. It could be that the Odyssey team like splintered off, and one of them is working on 3D Mario, and one of them is working on this. I do think one thing that's clear to me with this game, especially in this Direct, is that Nintendo is taking Donkey Kong very seriously. And Nintendo wants Donkey Kong to be like this big deal, new franchise, new design, kind of like almost a reboot of the Donkey Kong canon, which we can get into. But like, it would make sense if that is the way Nintendo's viewing it. It would make sense for them to say, well, let's take the Tokyo team and splinter some of those people off to be the Donkey Kong people now, you know?
Right.
So who knows? But that's my thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just blown away by the trailer. I don't even know where to start. There's so much information here.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I guess maybe we could start with like Buff Zebra. That was pretty hype.
Buff Zebra was pretty hype. I mean, there was like, before coming into this direct, like, we didn't really know that much about the game. Even though they had it on Treehouse, they had it playable, we didn't know that much. We certainly didn't know about these like Bonanza forms that yeah, Donkey Kong can turn into a zebra and an ostrich. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, and we didn't know about Pauline.
No,
or did we?
We did not.
We saw Pauline. So when
it was
when they revealed it, it was a leak.
Yeah. Because what happened was, after the game was revealed, the Korean website for the game had the image of what we now know as the box art of Pauline hanging on to DK's tie, when really it was just supposed to be the little Odd Rock character. And then they quickly took it down, but it was too late. The internet already got a hold of it. So we knew that Pauline was going to be in the game, but we didn't know if it was going to be revealed properly ahead of time or not. So,
yeah. So a lot of people did not see those leaks, but I did, because I'm in the Nintendo sphere, right? And so I was like, I wasn't surprised by it, but I am surprised at how she's integrated into the game, because the trailers did just show Odd Rock as the character prior to this, and it's interesting. We've got this like young preteen Pauline.
She's 13. According to the website. Yeah.
And so they like a new character design and look, and Pauline has a very established character design at this point, because she's been in the zeitgeist since Mario Odyssey, really, like brought it back.
Right.
So that's, it's interesting to see like kid characters, and it makes you go like, well, wait a second, because I thought the lore was that Pauline was with and Cranky Kong's in this game. I can geek out about lore stuff and go, where's this gonna fit in the timeline? The Donkey Kong timeline.
Well, you know who you're talking to. That's my bread and butter, man. It's funny. I think that Nintendo, I don't think cares about any of that. First of all, I don't think they are going to tell
Zelda.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like they shoehorned the Zelda timeline into the mix, and I think that really backed them into a corner where now people assume that Nintendo cares about this stuff more than they do. When you look at Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and it's like, where do they fit in the timeline? It's like, they kind of fit into all the timelines. You can make like a nebulous.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's weird.
And that's how I feel about this as well. Like, this doesn't fit with the established Donkey Kong timeline, if you could call it that.
Right.
In that Pauline, unless this is a different Pauline. Give me your thoughts here. I know you said, first off, Nintendo doesn't care, but we do.
No.
So what do you think, Seth?
I think that they're considering this like a soft reboot of Donkey Kong as a franchise. I think that they're considering this kind of like a new start, because Pauline, I don't know how much you know about the Seth lore when it comes to Pauline. Pauline's one of my favorite characters, and I've been a Pauline fan since I was a teenager. I mean, you go back into my history, and I'm writing Mario fan fiction on forums, including, I've written Pauline fanfic, in my history. I've always been a Pauline defender. I love that character. And so, like, coming into this and knowing that Pauline was going to be in the game, and even seeing that leaked like shot of her being apparently a kid, I was like, so this has to be kind of a reversion in some way. And I think the reason they're doing it is because in the past, DK has had like this kind of almost Bowser Peach relationship with Pauline, where he loves her and he like kidnaps her and stuff like this. Even in the Mario versus Donkey Kong games, that is very much the vibe. And so I think that Nintendo is looking at this as, hey, this is a new DK, we have a new design, and we're going to take this opportunity to also reestablish what DK and Pauline's relationship is, where now they have this kind of familial lone wolf and cub. You know, a lot of people are making the Wreck-It Ralph Vanellope comparison, you know, which is, you know, obvious comparison, right? So I think that Nintendo is just like seeing this as a chance to kind of like start fresh with these characters and make like their own little franchise of their own, you know?
Yeah, and I think that it works really well.
I do too.
I think having a Baloo Mowgli type
totally.
partnership is fun. But I will say that this role could have easily been Diddy Kong.
Right.
Like, they could have had Diddy Kong be the little
He's in the game.
guy. He is in the game. Which we saw briefly in the Direct. I recall seeing him and Dixie.
Yeah.
So
they run a it's called Rambi Rumble. It's like a rhino racing league. It is literally Diddy Kong Racing. So yeah, it's literally what it is.
It's coming. It's coming. Diddy Kong Racing 2 confirmed.
Yeah. Well, so one thing that I live reacted to it on the channel, and of course this is just classic Seth. When you know we live react to a 15-minute Direct, it actually winds up being 2 hours long because we went and frame by framed this thing. So I picked up a lot of stuff watching this Direct, and I have a lot of like theories and things like that. But Pauline is definitely the big draw for me. It's definitely the big reveal. She's fully voice acted. I'm assuming Kate Higgins is coming back from Odyssey. There is like a lot of music and like lyricized, vocalized songs in the game, and like, dude, I gotta tell you, the music in this had me like emotional. Like, especially that last song that they play, I guess it's called Unbreakable, like to end the Direct.
It's like a little spin on the like it has the Donkey Kong
country.
Melodies.
Yep.
Yeah. So I was like, this is gonna be really good. And you know that a Nintendo game is going to be hype when it has like a dedicated soundtrack like that with vocals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right. So it's like Odyssey. The Odyssey trailer comes on, which I don't know if anything's ever going to beat that. Like that song is tough. So good, but also prominently features Pauline in that song. But then like Smash Bros had that, and I think that's really it for like the ones that I can come up with the top of my head.
Fire Emblem, I guess. Yeah, but mostly Smash and Mario and DK.
But you can see that they're trying to tap into that same marketing, and there's choices that are made when you make a trailer, when you make a Direct,
right?
And they are directly comparing this to Mario Odyssey, and like in the way they've presented it, in the way that the mechanics that they focused on are like, hey, this is the evolution of that game. And so you can infer that Nintendo has a lot of faith in this project as a whole. This isn't a side character game. This is like, let's make Donkey Kong a pillar of Nintendo. No, I think this fills your Mario Odyssey slot, you know, like the big single player 3D platformer. I think that's what this is. Very clearly, they're taking it seriously, man. The outfits, that whole system is essentially lifted from Odyssey. Yeah, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that. I love character customization. And the fact that you can change Donkey Kong's clothes and his fur color, and you can get Pauline matching outfits. Oh man, it's like, yes, I want this for every game and every character. Like Mario Kart World has costumes for all the characters. I want more. Give me more costumes, more customization. Yeah. Mario Odyssey's like, customize your hat, body, feet, like that is so fun and so cool. And like it's just cosmetic. It doesn't affect the game at all. And in this case, it just like feels good to collect things because you're spending it towards something. I don't know. Like this is much more rewarding than collecting a bunch of letters that spell Kong.
Totally.
For nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like you can unlock all this gear, which by the way, they all have stats. Like this game's kind of low-key an RPG. It's like
yes. Yeah. When they throw up the skill tree, I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a full-on skill tree with like a bunch of upgradable skills. You've got your different Bonanza forms and abilities. You've got the different outfits that give you passive abilities, and Pauline gets them too. You can collect different currencies and fossils and treasure, and there's also like collectible music, which is really hype, like the CDs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, like I can't wait.
It's Donkey Kong has always been kind of this collect-a-thon coded thing, and DK64, the only other 3D Donkey Kong game that we ever had, was a collect-a-thon. It was a rare collect-a-thon. It was the Banjo-Kazooie style. Go collect all of these things. But even more so than like Banjo-Kazooie. It's like, go collect all of the golden bananas, collect all of the Diddy bananas, collect all of the special balloons. It's like that has never appealed to me. I'm like not a collector, but when the collecting of the things means something and you get a tangible reward for it, then all of a sudden I'm in. And in this case, it's like, oh yeah, well now I'm going to need to work on getting every costume, and I'm going to need to get all of the music discs. And yeah, it looks really great. They took all of these things that I'm like, I don't know about Donkey Kong in general, and they just said, yeah, well, we're going to change them entirely so that you like it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, and I think, like, for me, I think that's also the purpose of, like, rebooting this little franchise is to get people that were not ever interested in Donkey Kong before, all of a sudden they are. You know, all of a sudden, like, this is a completely fresh perspective on this character and his world. And I think that it means a lot. It goes a long way to making this something that a larger audience will care about. You know, I think it's a great launch window exclusive. I think that it legitimizes Donkey Kong, you know, because even beside, like, forget, you know, Donkey Kong 64, like, we haven't had a new Donkey Kong game since Tropical Freeze in 2014. You know, like, we haven't had a new Donkey Kong anything in, you know, 11 plus years. So, like, it's been long overdue for DK. And, you know, obviously you've got the theme park now and stuff, and he's probably going to get his own movie after appearing in the Mario movie. And you can tell that they're taking this stuff seriously. And I think that they've done a great job of making a point of difference for this, of giving people who are hungry for a 3D Mario, like, something to really latch onto with this. Because for me, I look at this and I'm like, I can wait a little while on 3D Mario, you know, like, don't get me wrong, can't wait for 3D Mario, but this will tide me over.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely who this is being pitched to. And this game's going to, regardless of if it's good, it's going to sell so well because it's first party Nintendo and it's the next thing after Mario Kart World. So it's like, this Nintendo's in this case, they don't want this game to be bad because it sets a bad precedent for the for the library of the system going forward, and B, shows that they really do have a lot of faith in this being a system seller and a reason to pick up the Switch too.
I mean, look no further than the fact that it's getting its own amiibo. You know, like, not many games get amiibo anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rare thing for them to make customized amiibos for new releases, and that amiibo looks pretty cool too.
Already bought, dude. It's already bought. Like I already pre-ordered it. It went up on Best Buy earlier today, and I was like, done. I was like, you can have my money. It's expensive. Amiibos. Have you seen the price of Amiibo these days, dude?
What happened here? What happened? So why did they get so expensive? Because I was like, oh, the Zelda ones. I'm a big Zelda fan, so maybe I'll pick up the Champions. Got to get my boy Sidon. And I was like, no, I don't got to get my boy Sidon. It's half the price a game.
Oh yeah, This it was $30. It was $29.99 US for DK and Pauline.
Yeah, that's nuts. How much did they used to be? I felt like
I was just talking about this earlier today. So I started collecting Amiibo from day one, and for a long time I had a complete Amiibo
2000. When would that have been? Like 2010, 11?
No, I think it was 14. I think it was 2014. I think so. It was this, or maybe 2015. It was the same day that Smash Wii U came out. It was the same day. It was like November 21st, so yeah, it would have been later. Yeah, or something like that. So, but I, for a long time I had them all. When Amiibo first started, they were $12.99 a figure, and
I was like, they were like $15.
Yeah, they went up when Tears of the Kingdom came out. There's a big uproar, like, oh my god, Amiibo are $15.99 now? That's crazy. And now it's like a standard Amiibo is like $30, man. It's crazy. So
yeah, it really is. And I mean they have sort of moved away from they've gone up in quality. That's not
big time, totally.
Yeah. They were pitched as toys. Now they are pitched as collectibles. So it's like
right.
It's like if you like, can you imagine if like Skylanders suddenly started making like high quality like statue figures? That's like essentially what happened here. Is they were born in that same time period. Amiibo were like, yeah, well, we'll do this like toys to life thing, and now they've merged more to the collectible figure and statue market.
Right. Yeah.
And in that sense, they're pretty cheap.
Right. Well, yeah. All things considered, we also don't know exactly how big it is. Maybe it's a bigger Amiibo. I don't know. We'll find out. But I was always going to buy it. They probably could have charged $60 for that, and I probably would have bought it. But we'll find out. But I was excited to see it. I was pretty thrilled that the idea that Pauline is getting an Amiibo at all is kind of crazy. But now, like, to see this design of her, this design of DK getting an Amiibo, the fact that it unlocks her Mario Odyssey costume in the game is amazing. I love that so much, and makes me very happy. I'll tell you what, I thought of you when I was watching this Direct, because I'm like, there is so much potential in the tech here for like challenge runs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, all the weird, janky little stuff, like stacking the mud and making platforms, and
yeah, I'm like so excited to see speed runs of this game.
Me too.
Because I think they're going to be. I think there's going to be some weird glitches and technical things, because this is Nintendo's first like destructible environment game.
I guess so.
I can't think of another game that has this like full on, because I mean they showed DK just take out a mountain. They're like, you could do this, and then they speed it up, and he like just completely took out a mountain. And so I'm like wondering, that has to be exploitable for really cool tricks.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're in for some treats with that. It's going to be quite wild, I think.
Yeah, well, they showed there's a, the Bonanza forms alone are going to be broken. Like, running around on water as the zebra, flying around as the ostrich, that alone is going to introduce so many broken things. But then, like, on top of that, like, you really can just, like, destroy most of the environment, and... Mm-hmm. And like little things, like they showed that that sort of translucent rock that like at a certain point DK was using to like fly. like it was kind of disintegrating, and he was like flying on it. Not only can you do like the turf surf thing where DK can like rip a piece of the ground out and like surf around on it, you can use it to like jump and get more height with. It's called like a chunk jump, where you like throw it underneath you and get more height. I'm like, dude, there's going to be so much fun tech in this game.
Yeah, and the rocks appear to have different strengths and elemental powers, like you said, with the flight, but even like ice, fire, they're like Donkey Kong Amiibo will summon like big Kong letters, and that's like really strong too. Yeah, so there's some like there's this direct showed us so much, and we got so much more new information, but it also is a teaser in that there's so much more that we haven't seen and haven't discovered yet. Those are not the only animal forms. Those aren't the only Bonanza forms. Like there's definitely going to be more. And what would those be? What would their powers be? Who knows? So
well, I'll tell you this much. I think there's going to be 2 more at least, because when we see the shot of the skill tree, you can see at the point of the game that they show it off at, it has like a couple of, like passive skills for DK. Then it has a line that is just for like his regular like gorilla Bonanza form, which I assume is the first one you unlock. But then there are 4 more lines next to it, which I assume will be other Bonanza forms. And we know of 3. We know of the gorilla, the zebra, and the ostrich. And I'm seeing a lot of people being like, oh, K. Rool's going to be in the game, and you're going to get a crocodile form from K. Rool or something like that. So who knows? I mean, maybe. I'm not sold on that. And to be honest, I like K. Rool as much as the next guy. I think it's really cool to do new stuff too. But, I wouldn't be opposed to it if that winds up happening.
Yeah, I think K. Rool is very underutilized personally.
I agree.
He was only appeared in a handful of games, and then they hard pivoted away from him. And I'm like, he could really be a Bowser type returning cast member. But I do think that the villains in this one look pretty fun. And the fact that they're all evil Kongs.
Yeah.
Grumpy, Poppy, and Void Kong.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yeah.
And the character designs on all of them are such good like villain Kong energy.
Love them. Yeah, I think they look great. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I guess Grumpy Kong apparently is like the builder. Like he's the one that builds these like constructs. And like those are boss fights. And then you got Poppy Kong is kind of like the spy of the group. And then of course Void Kong is like he's like this little gremlin boss, sort of guy. And he has this like I don't know if it's supposed to be a microphone, like this little banana thing that he uses, and it like shoots a cell phone. Beam up. Yeah, it's like a little phone. It's weird. Yeah. What is that?
Because they're like a little evil mining corporation.
Yeah.
But why? Yeah. Nintendo's been digging this, like, let's have a little bad guy group mob. Because this is like Odyssey with the brutals. I get major brutal energy. Yeah.
Yeah. It does have a little bit of brutal energy to it, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, and I think the brutals are fine. Conceptually, I liked the brutals quite a bit. They just did play second fiddle to Bowser. And so in a way, I'm like, if K. Rool's in this game, like I kind of feel like they would kind of suffer the same fate as the brutals, like where K. Rool would take all the shine. Now, one thing I could see, because it seems like there are going to be these like elder animals that give DK these Bonanza forms. So it'd be kind of interesting if K. Rool was an elder animal that gave him like this crocodile form or whatever, because the ostrich is Espresso the ostrich from the DKC games.
Yeah, I saw that and was like, oh, that's interesting. So it's like, and we saw like zebra people and like they're doing a lot with like different animal characters that are like anthropomorphic into. So I'm very like the world seems so vibrant and alive. Like they're they're creating like a very interesting and unique place that is different, wildly different than the previous Donkey Kong games. Like this isn't, we're on an island and someone stole Donkey Kong's bananas. This is like
Zoinks.
Donkey Kong works for like a mining company and they are an evil corporation. He just loves bananas.
Donkey Kong's anti-corporate. Donkey Kong's upsetting the establishment out here. This is a punk rock Donkey Kong.
Yeah, which, he's loosening up the tie, I think.
That's right, he is. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of...
I'm wildly hyped for the game based off this trailer, and we're like less than a month away from its launch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're close. We're like 3 or 4 weeks or something at the time of this recording. I'm really one thing I'm excited to dig into as well are like these, because we actually, my wife and I, when we did our hands-on, we found one of these little like ancient ruin like challenges or whatever. You find these like triangular like ruins and you go into them and they're these little side challenges.
The shrines. I was just kidding.
Basically, essentially. And it seems like there are going to be a bunch of them in the game. The side-scrolling sections, I guess, are going to be part of that. And so that's all really cool. But I'm excited to get in there, find out how many of them there are, and like I'm hoping this game has a little bit of teeth to it. Like I want to go in there and I want to really be challenged in this, because I felt like Odyssey, and I love Odyssey, is like one of my favorite games of all time. But I felt like all of the actually difficult content was in the post game. Like I want, stuff that's actually going to challenge me throughout the course of the game and give me something to worry about, So
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that's always a struggle with games like this. Is like where do you pit that difficulty, and it really depends on what you're targeting here. I will say that they explicitly mentioned the assist mode, which is exactly the same as it is in Odyssey, and Pauline, the co-op mode is exactly the same as in Odyssey, where it's like. Yeah, it's the little brother mode. Like, okay, you are helping me on the side here. Also could be really cool for speed runs, like what people can do with that. Yeah. Did
you see it? Like she can you can use like the aiming, and you can like take the property of anything that she can like see and just have that now and just shoot out like the words all over the place. I'm like, that's going to be broken, man. People are going to abuse that. That's going
to be interesting. And while we're on the subject here, how wild that this is going to be like game share compatible.
I know, that's crazy. I mean, technically, like you and I are in game chat right now. If we had the game, we could play it together over game share with only one of us having the game. You can do it via game chat online. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, very weird. And it's compatible with Switch 1.
I know. I'm like, what?
That makes sense. Wait, so then why isn't it just releasing on Switch 1 too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming all that's happening there, because that's only local, and I'm assuming it's just essentially casting the, like using the Switch 1 as a screen, basically. But still, that's wild. Like I really want to test that when it comes out. I'm like, if that works well, that's kind of a huge deal, dude. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna need to test out. I have messed a little bit with the game share, and I set it up, and I played game share via game chat, so using the online, not local. Yeah. With my wife, who was sitting there with me. We could have used local, but I just wanted to see what it was like.
It works.
It works really well. We were playing Clubhouse 51 games, so not necessarily one that you need
like precision and speed. Yeah,
exactly. We're playing Yahtzee. I mean, it's not
right.
It's not like turns. We need net rollback code for Yahtzee, is what we.
Yeah, give me the rollback netcode, Nintendo.
But it worked really well, and yeah, we only needed one copy of the game. That was just weird to me. It's like this feels so not Nintendo.
It does, right? It's kind of crazy. We were just talking on your show about the kind of give and take with the virtual game card system. And it's like for every kind of weird, baffling decision, there's something really cool like this that actually is very consumer friendly. Like this idea that if we really wanted, like if I had a friend who couldn't afford DK Bonanza and really wanted to play it or something like that, and even if they only had a Switch 1, they could come over and bring it over and play it with me, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's really, really cool.
So I think what we need next is re-release of two of Nintendo's most loved games that would utilize this feature well. And that's Triforce Heroes and Federation Force.
Let's go Federation Force, baby.
The reason that those games, one of the prime reasons that those games, Metroid Prime,
I see what you did there.
One of the reasons that those games were so hated is because you did need multiple copies of the game to play with your friends, and if you weren't playing the multiplayer, it sucked. It was like not a fun single player experience. But like Switch 2 is built for those kinds of experiences with GameChat. So like those would actually be pretty hype if they got re-released in some capacity. Especially Triforce Heroes. We can leave Federation Force behind, but you know, maybe a multiplayer mode in Metroid Prime 4. I'd love that.
That'd be sick. I enjoyed Triforce Heroes. I played that with my wife and my cousin, and we had a ball. We had a great time with that game. And it's not my favorite Zelda game, but it's a fun game. And the neat thing about this too is utilizing this multiplayer functionality. I'm thinking already about like, what does this mean for stuff like Animal Crossing? You know what I mean? Like, what does this mean for those games that have a huge community focus? How can Nintendo take advantage of these capabilities? And then my mind really starts spinning off. And I'm like, if we can cast things to the Nintendo Switch 1, what does that mean for interesting, unique, like how are people going to be able to take advantage of the game share functionality for like two like multi-screen experiences? That's possible with that technology, you know?
Yeah. There's some cool stuff that can be done with it. But I think we hit a bit of a wall there in that I doubt we're going to see too much from third party or indie that will utilize those features because
I agree.
Because they're trying to make a game that can sell on the most systems. And if you're utilizing specific system function like that does make that difficult. But what could Nintendo do with it? I don't know. And it would be really cool if they could incentivize people to make their games utilize these features. We'll see what happens. We're so early. We're still so early. Just a couple weeks into the life cycle.
But isn't it cool though? Isn't it cool to like be in this new era and be excited about this stuff? Like as much as I love Mario Kart World, I've been really enjoying it. I like it a lot. But like seeing DK Bonanza almost get its Breath of the Wild moment, get its Mario Odyssey moment, this fresh new thing, you know, really ushering in this new era of Nintendo with all this exciting new stuff. Like it is genuinely really cool. And like to see like the various discords have been just buzzing today with excitement about DK Bonanza. It like, you know, in the lead up to Switch 2, there was so much negativity about the system. And like, it feels like we're finally allowed to like just be hyped about all of this stuff. And it makes me really, really happy. It was a good day. It was a good day.
Yes. And I hope that we get these kinds of hype game direct type things for more games in the future. I do, on the flip side, think that there's a lot of fun that gets lost when you don't go into a game completely blind.
Sure.
But for you and me, that's impossible for a Nintendo game. We're too involved in the community as a whole and online space. And I like that Nintendo is kind of getting ahead of possible leaks and spoilers by just coming out and giving enough that will get you hyped. And like we talked about already, it's like, this was a teaser. There's still so much to discover and get hyped for this game. We know that there's a lot more. We've only seen a little bit.
Well, I mean, it reminds me of like that first proper Mario Odyssey trailer that we got, and it's like, dude, you can turn into a T-Rex in this game? Like, what? You know? And like, I remember seeing that and being like, what's going on in this game? But it didn't, even knowing all of that, didn't scratch the surface of what that game actually was, you know?
Right.
So we saw 15 minutes and a ton of new information, but you know there's going to be way more to see and do and discover in here. It's like Nintendo's not going to intentionally spoil the experience for you. I saw some of that. I saw some people being like, I'm not going to watch this because I don't want to ruin the game. And I'm like, dude, I think that there's going to be so much to see and do in this game. I don't think there's any fear of that. So,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, I wonder, are we going to get like some promotional stuff in Mario Kart? I know that was kind of rumored.
Yeah, I hope
imagine
so.
I imagine we'll get some like Mario Kart World crossover stuff, like a Pauline.
Like DK and Pauline have one costume in the whole game, dude. Like, they've got to get more costumes. If I'm dreaming big, put young Pauline in the game. If I'm dreaming big, like, put her straight up in the game. That would make me very happy. But at least give these characters more costumes than one. Like, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I hope so. Dragon Drive's next. Now we need the Dragon Drive Direct. We got to get
Dragon Drive. Yeah. Mario after Mario Kart World is Mario Party Jamboree TV, which already got pretty full explanation in the last Direct. I'm so hyped for that game, though. I'm
excited for it too.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The Switch turned me into a Mario Party fanboy. Like a diehard. Like, this is one of my pillars of Nintendo now. So.
And Jamboree rules. Jamboree's like one of the best, if not the best, Mario Party games. Like, it's
good.
Yeah, it's great. My wife's literally playing it right now. She's in the other room playing Jamboree right now. And that was actually we got this camera. I bought the Nintendo Switch 2 camera that I'm using right now in the video for that. Mm-hmm. It's like so that we can, have this and play Mario Party with it.
Yeah. What's the quality on the camera?
Pretty good. 1080? I mean, you're looking at it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a 1080 camera. It's not bad.
I'm seeing your screen quite small.
It's small, right?
Because of the way GameChat is. So I can't really tell how high quality it is.
It's not as good as like my normal cam, but it's not bad. Like, it's, the nice thing about this, I have it zoomed in so that you just don't see my entire like kitchen right here and whatnot. But it's got a wide viewing angle so that you can pretty easily get multiple people in the same shot. I was playing Mario Kart on cam with some friends earlier today, and it was Matt and his wife, and they were not using this camera. They were using just their USB camera they already had, and not only did it still pick them up just fine, it even still, because Nintendo has it in the Switch 2 at the hardware level, to where you can plug in whatever camera you want, and it'll still do the isolation. It still picked up both of them individually and put them both on their own characters. Like, it's really well done and really smart.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some cool tech in there with what's being done behind the scenes with just like software that doesn't care about what kind of camera you have. Yeah, and that is surprising. I really, like I said, the bar for this was so low for me, and they have like leapt over that and made something very cool, very exciting.
It all works better than I thought, and it also, like, again, it makes me excited for the possibilities of other franchises like Animal Crossing and stuff. I'm excited about all that. But it just like, it feels so organic. Like we can just sit in here and have a conversation, hang out. If we wanted to right now, we could both be playing Mario Kart. We could do, whatever we wanted. It's very, very neat. I'm very impressed. And it honestly, if there was just a little bit easier logistics, I would consider doing a whole spin-off podcast just in Game Chat. Like I love Game Chat.
Yeah, Nintendo Game Chat, the podcast. It's like all recorded in here. That would be pretty hype. But yeah, it is logistically a little difficult with the recording. Yeah, but it works really well.
It's great.
Is there any more you wanted to talk about with the Donkey Kong Direct?
I feel like we pretty well covered the DK Direct itself. I guess the last thing I wanted to kind of take your temperature on was with the year, I guess, in Nintendo and where you're at with the slate. Because a lot of people have been asking me, do you think we're going to get a new Nintendo Direct? Do you think that Nintendo has more? I personally look at this year and I'm like, in a month we got DK Bananza. Somewhere in the mix we've got Dragon Drive. Prime 4 is coming. Pokemon Legends is coming. Hyrule Warriors is coming. New Kirby content, new Mario Party content. Kirby Air Riders is coming at a certain point this year too. All these things are coming this year. Splatoon Raiders, which has been rated by the ESRB and is probably coming a lot sooner than people think, could very well be this year for all we know. So I look at Nintendo's slate this year and I'm like, dude, I'm perfectly happy with everything Nintendo has. They could not announce one more game, and I would be fine with it. So I'm kind of curious where you're at. Like, are you wanting more? Do you think Nintendo has more in the pipe for this year? Where are you at with Nintendo's the rest of the year for them?
I totally see where you're coming from in that we have quite a stacked year already, especially if we keep up the cadence, which I think the Switch did fairly well, of a game per month, a first party game per month. We have enough for that. But I do think that it is maybe missing the big system seller.
Okay.
But is Mario Kart that? You know what I mean?
And dude,
I think it is. So it's like, do they need another Mario Kart this year? I'm thinking like maybe we have some big game. I personally thought that we would see Animal Crossing within the first year, because one, Mario Kart was the best-selling game on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And will certainly be the best-selling game on the Switch too. And Animal Crossing was right behind it. Yeah. And it's been a long time since there has been any new Animal Crossing anything. And they have not come out and said, yeah, Animal Crossing is getting updates and upgrades. Nothing like that. And so it makes me believe that is in the works and is coming sooner than
I think so too.
Than we might think. So I could see that reasonably being like a holiday title this year.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, that would go crazy. I think they'll announce it this year, and I think that they'll release early next year. Like I personally, if I were a betting man, I would bet on them skipping the summer direct. Like, I'm not expecting a summer direct out of Nintendo. I think that we'll get our dates. Maybe Dragon Drive gets its own direct and stuff, and maybe we get a partner showcase. I think an Indie World is really likely. We haven't had an Indie World since last August. So, I think we're way overdue for an Indie World.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening. But then I think they're totally fine to wait until September. And then it's like, yeah, man, here's the date for Prime 4. Here's the date for Kirby. Here's the date for Hyrule Warriors. And I think at that point, I do think they would be smart to at least announce Animal Crossing and get those people who are waiting on Animal Crossing for a Switch 2 to finally be interested. to be like, okay,
Yeah.
like now I feel safe to buy it because I at least know this is coming. And then they release it in the springtime or something, because New Horizons came out in March, so I think they could very easily, follow a similar blueprint. So we'll see.
Yeah. I want to verify here that I'm not missing anything in my brain for what's coming out that's first party. We have Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We have Dragon Drive.
Yep.
And we have Pokemon Legends ZA. Yep. And then I don't know, do we count Hyrule Warriors as like pretty first party?
Yeah. I mean,
and all of that is coming.
Kirby Air Riders
this year. Yeah. Yes, Kirby Air Riders. Yeah. When you said Kirby earlier, I thought you were referring to the.
But there's that too. The Forgotten Land DLC. We also have that.
The Forgotten. Yeah, the Forgotten Land DLC. I don't think that they can ride the DLC as full games.
Sure.
In the and I don't think Nintendo's counting them that way because we have Donkey Kong and Mario Party within 2 weeks of each other.
Right.
So I'm not sure that's how they're qualifying it, but
right.
If that's right, that's 5 I've listed. Am I missing any first party titles?
I think that's about it. I mean, there's an off chance that maybe Splatoon Raiders comes in there, but I think that's the main heavy hitter. So if I were putting on my tinfoil hat or whatever, I'm like, cool, we got Donkey Kong July. We have Dragon Drive could very well be August because it's supposed to come out this summer. We don't know anything about it. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So
August makes sense for that.
And then I look at Kirby Air Riders could be September. Hyrule Warriors could be September for all we know. And then I think that I think one or the other could be in either September or in December. And then you have Pokemon is in October. We already know that. And then Metroid November. And that's a year to me. That seems pretty dang good.
Yep. So, I mean, when you lay it all out like that, it's like, okay, well, there's not really...
It's hard to be mad at that.
Space for anything. Well, there's not really space for anything else without kind of eating itself a little bit. But they also may just pick up the pace and we have multiple games in a month for the first year. I could totally see them doing that. And then as far as third party stuff goes, there's a bunch of stuff coming out. Like a ton. And that list is crazy long. And then we know about other first party titles that are planned for further out, right? We have Tomodachi Life that was announced. That's next year.
Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven. That was the other one I was thinking of. I'm trying to think. I know there were more, and I'm now that I'm on the spot, I'm up here on the side.
Duskbloods is coming out next year.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, to that point too, Elden Ring is coming to Switch 2 this year, and that's a huge deal, man.
That is a big title. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think that a partner showcase could happen, and we could that could be where it's here's your Elden Ring date, here's your Baldur's Gate 3 Switch 2 port.
That's why I'm where's Baldur's Gate 3, man? That needs to come to Switch 2. That needs to come to Switch 2. Oh yeah, man, I would be so excited.
Me too.
But I'm looking on here. 007 First Light, Human Fall Flat 2. Human Fall Flat is one of the best-selling Switch titles.
Isn't that crazy?
It's constantly in the top 10 digital title. I don't know why. I love that game. I think it's a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised it pops up and it's the number 3 sold game in Japan or something like that, behind Mario Kart and Animal Crossing.
It's crazy.
Which is that's crazy. So that's kind of a big deal to get a sequel to that coming.
Well, another big one that people kind of forget about is Hades 2. That is a console exclusive launch on Switch and Switch 2. And in fact, when I went to the hands-on preview event, Hades 2 was one of the games that was there. Like, Nintendo is really positioning that as a big, like, third-party kind of thing. It's an indie game, but it's like, you know, like they're really kind of leaning into that. It's launching on consoles exclusively on Switch and Switch 2 for at least a timed exclusive. So,
and when does that come? That doesn't have a release date yet still, right?
No, just this year. 1.0 is just sometime this year. Yeah.
Yeah, there's... And then I forgot about Enter the Gungeon too.
Oh yeah,
we're getting a lot of big indie sequels.
Silk Song maybe one day. that might come out. You know, it's gonna be a huge year, man. Like there's a lot of stuff.
I at the beginning of this conversation, I think would have said like, yeah, I think there's probably one or two more big games coming. But I can also totally see that not being the case, especially with all of the announcements for semi-big games coming next year already.
Right.
But I would like to see something a little bit more Nintendo. I call it like the Nintendo pillar, right?
Sure.
They're big tentpole games that are like, these are, and Mario Kart is that. And they have positioned Donkey Kong Bonanza to be that as well. And so I think prior to this Direct, I also would have said, like, yeah, we're going to probably see a 3D Mario coming down the pipe really soon. And it very still could be. But we could also we could also get a 2D Mario. We could also get Mario Maker 3.
Yo.
Like,
that now you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm like, Mario Maker with mouse controls.
Yes. Now you're talking.
I'm like, what are we doing? Why isn't that added as support already?
Yes. I completely agree. Yeah. That would make me happy. Yeah.
And man, Seth, I know I've said this for like every console since the DS, since touchscreens were integrated. Mario Paint, it's comeback time. It's comeback time for Mario Paint. I love how I'm holding my mic and talking into it. It's not plugged into this.
It's completely useless right now.
Just my podcast. It's my podcast security blanket. Yeah.
I do feel weird not having the mic in front of me. I do feel kind of weird. But hey, man, it's Game Chat, baby.
I would cry. I would cry tears of joy if Mario Paint got a sequel.
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord 2025.
I want it, dude. Yeah, I do. Yeah. You know what though? There could be, if Nintendo were to release anything else this year, I do think that there could be room for something a little smaller like that. Like a Mario Paint, Mario Maker kind of thing. Even WarioWare, I think, could fit really well into this kind of slate. Like smaller kind of, Move It came out a little over 2 years ago, I think, at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I
really?
Could even see...
It's been 2 years?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. I know, yeah. And Get It Together, I think, was 2 years before that. So, yeah, I could maybe even see something like that potentially slotting in if they did have anything else for this year, something kind of to that caliber. It could also be like updates to previously existing stuff. Like they could do, like what happens if they say, hey, by the way, here's new content for Pikmin 4 and, whatever. They just did that with Splatoon 3. Like they just updated Splatoon 3. So, like...
I was thinking about this. That your line of thinking there reminded me that we're also going to see a Nintendo fitness game.
Oh yeah.
Which they have done for consoles since like back in the Super Nintendo era.
Yeah.
But like ever since the Wii with Wii Fit, Wii Fit was like top 10 selling game for the Wii.
Sold very well.
And Ring Fit was in the top 10 up until like they released like 4 Pokemons, and then it got bumped out. But But it was up until like last year that Ring Fit was number 10 on the list constantly. And so the fact that Nintendo is weirdly obsessed with people being healthy, and paired with those games always sell like crazy, and they sell hardware with it almost every time. So they upcharge a little bit for it. That is a no-brainer. Will that be this year? I'm not sure. It will be at latest next year, though.
You got my head spinning now, because everything we just talked about before with stuff like game share and GameChat, because one of my big gripes, I loved Ring Fit, loved it. Put like 30 or 40 hours into that game or something like that. And I
have like 100 hours in Ring Fit. Yeah. It's that kind of game that it's designed to play constant. Yeah.
I loved it. But my biggest gripe, the reason I didn't stick with it, is because I work out with my wife. We go to the gym and we work out together. And I wanted some kind of like, co-op fitness experience with that game. And you could actually have that. Like, you could get into a game chat and work out with, your friend or whatever online if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
It could even not even be, it could be what it is right now. And you could do that.
Right.
But just imagine what they could do with it, with the new system. Because, I mean, these controllers, these new Joy-Cons are more advanced tech than the original Joy-Cons, and they have like the IR sensor in there with mouse support and like better motion and rumble. Like, right. Okay, what's this console's Ring Fit going to be? And I imagine it will be something wildly different than Ring Fit. I can't see them making like a direct sequel like to that.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'll be curious to see. I think you're right. I do think that a fitness game is in the cards for sure. I think that makes a lot of sense, and I would love to see it. Like I thought they crushed it with Ring Fit. I loved it.
Yeah, and the Wii was like such a health centric system, and so I mean, are we going to see? Are we going to see Switch Sports 2?
I'd be down for that. I liked Switch Sports for what it was.
I did too. And I feel like Wii Sports was pretty good, and then Wii Sports Resort is phenomenal.
We need Switch Sports Resort.
Switch Sports 2 would be so much like take the feedback that you get from Switch Sports 1, because it's a flawed game. I will get behind it and say there's some things about it that I think it is way too online dependent, right? But again, GameChat, we keep circling back to it. GameChat with Switch Sports would be wild. Okay, I want to play bowling with my dad. Like, Dad, fire up your Switch 2. He doesn't have one, but when he gets one, I'm like, Dad, we're gonna play Switch Sports. Let's play that tonight. Play games together. Like, this game is so like, let's make couch co-op online. Like, that is what GameChat is and is for. And people from like Xbox Live and big Discord junkies are like, we've had this for like 20 years, guys.
It's not quite the same though. Like, it's not like, it's so much more organic on Switch 2. It's so much more integrated into like the fabric of what the Switch 2 is, that like,
you're so right.
Like, doing it like tonight, linking up to record a podcast in GameChat, it was a matter of hitting a button on my controller and inviting you to, and now here we are. And there's, speech to text, and there's video, and there's all this stuff. Like, it's so much more integrated into everything. And it's so, like, that was the thing that impressed me about it right away, was just how organic the whole thing felt, and I was ready to write it off.
Dude, can you imagine this in 2020?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This would have been gone crazy during the pandemic.
Totally. The Switch 2 feels like a system that was conceived during the pandemic, for sure. Like, like some of these ideas feel like pandemic ideas. You know.
Does Nintendo know something that we don't? Are they like, yeah, it's coming
get
back.
ready for another one, baby. It's coming back. Oh no! Don't say that.
Yeah, let's knock on wood. No, thank you.
Knock on something, dude. Yeah. Well,
so based off of everything, to circle back to your original question, I still think that there's something big that they haven't told us about yet, that we'll be seeing at the very end of the year.
Okay.
But if there's not, I'm not going to be heartbroken. That's for sure. There's tons to do.
It's been a good year,
and we're going to get more. We're going to get more game updates. I mean, there are so many big first-party games on Switch that they could do stuff with. Yep. I'm shocked that we haven't seen a Smash Bros. Deluxe edition of some kind, where it's like, but here's the game. It's now upgraded with better graphics, and now you can buy it and you get all the DLC characters day one. Like there's. I mean, did we really get an update for Mario Odyssey?
It's improved, but it's not like a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's those lines are so blurry. Right. Because they didn't. What was the game that we were talking about on our podcast that was like, they didn't even mention? It was Animal Crossing. You're like, it looks amazing. But that's crazy. Not a Switch 2 edition. That's just Switch 1 running better.
Right. Yeah. No, and there's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. So I'll be curious to see what there's a lot of potential there for stuff like that. So there are a million things they could do, but I'm really excited about the future. I'm excited about, the immediate future with Donkey Kong. I'm looking at this. I'm like, oh yeah, it instantly became like my most hyped game of the year, like instantly. And I can't wait to get it home. Very excited. And it was fun just sitting here kind of gushing about Nintendo. I didn't expect us to really kind of like, get into predictions and like a full but I like it.
Man.
No, it's fun. It's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate, and this is just what happens when we get together. You can't help but.
It's gonna be pretty crazy to see Donkey Kong Bonanza up there for Game of the Year next to Expedition 33. It's Split Fiction.
Go. Yeah, let's have a live performance at the Game Awards. A live performance of the music from Donkey Kong.
They're gonna bring back Pauline again, and she's gonna
have her up there.
Oh my gosh! Oh my goodness! So it's like this year is writing itself. The script is writing itself.
Please, yes.
And it's a good year for gaming, which is for Nintendo gamers and gaming in general. It's just been 2025 is a great year, and I gotta say, Seth, I don't want to dive. I don't know how much you dive into world topics and stuff, but like we needed a win.
Yes.
As humanity, we needed a win right now, and we're getting wins in the gaming space.
1000%, dude. No, I completely agree. It's nice to have this. It's nice. Like at least we got this. So I'll take it, man. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight and breaking all this stuff down and sharing some hype and some good positive vibes, dude. Before we sign off here on good old Game Chat, why don't you tell people one more time where they can find you and about your content a little bit and whatnot? Point them in your direction, man.
Yeah, so if you want to check out my stuff, I do gaming challenges for Switch 2 and Switch content. That's Andross 1, TikTok, YouTube. That's the other place, Twitch, all those places. Yeah. I live stream, I produce videos, all that stuff. Andross 1 on all platforms. And if you want to hear me chat about Nintendo stuffs, and you want to hear Seth's guest spot on Nintendo Pals, the podcast, just search Nintendo Pals. It's on all podcast platforms and on YouTube if you want to watch the video version of the cast.
Yes.
Thanks for inviting me on, man. This was super fun. I'm happy to be here. It's always great to podcast with you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for being willing to do this weird little game chat experiment. I'd be happy to do it again. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun.
I know. I mean, we joke, but this may end up being a spin-off show.
What if this is a thing? This might just be a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe y'all are witnessing the beginning of a thing.
This is literally how I started Nintendo Pals. It was like I was in a chat lobby with my buddy Micah playing Fortnite, and we were like,
just record
what if we
this.
Recorded this? Yeah, what if we recorded this? So yeah,
this is how stuff starts sometimes, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, again, I appreciate it. I'll have links to everything Andross in the show notes. And perfect. On the video here, the direct is like ending the video, so it's perfect timing. Andross, thanks again, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.